Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be for you mommies out there or moms to be out there. I'm a mom of almost, she's going to be 2 soon in September, but she is 22 months now. It is, whew, I lied, she's 21 months, but she's gonna be 22 months by the end of next week. So 22 months. I'm not that kind of mom. I push her up. But no, she's 22 months basically now. And I've been in the game for a little minute now, and I get a lot of inbox messages about little questions here or there about what I do with my daughter. Leia, it's her name. Things that I recommend, maybe some things that I experienced when I had her. So I wanted to go ahead and share some of my tips. I'm going to do this in a series because being a mom and just the information that comes with it, being a parent, period, it's a lot. It's a lot of information. It's just a lot of stuff. So with that being said, this video is going to be about that first week of bringing baby home, because I know if you've conceived in February or any time around that month, then you're either pregnant, or if you conceived before then and you are having a baby now, then this topic may really mean a lot to you. And I know when I was pregnant with my baby, videos like this were extremely helpful, where you can be just as candid as possible and just being as honest as possible. Is super helpful. So I hope this video is much help to you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get straight into it. First, I'm going to give kind of a precursor of what my pregnancy was like, and I'm going to make it as brief as possible because maybe we'll talk about it in other videos. But so let's see, I probably conceived around January of 2017, and my husband at the time, he was vegan. So when I did conceive her and I was carrying her for a while, I did have to have a vegan diet. And when it came time to have my little nugget, I actually had to get a C-section, emergency C-section, because she got stuck. My pelvis was too small, and so we had to cut her out, and she was born September 23rd, 2017. Oh, my bumpkin, my little baby. Oh, the memories. It makes you so emotional when they start getting older. But yeah, anyways, so I had her around that time, and having a C-section baby is a little different, so that's why I'm kind of like throwing that in there, because I want you to kind of understand what I'm saying. So when you bring baby home for that first week, it is very intimidating. So I'm just going to give you first a precursor, some tips that you should follow before you bring baby home. When you're at the hospital, talk to your nurses. Do not be scared to ask questions. This is the most important part of, having a baby, is asking professionals questions and making sure that you go ahead and get that 24-hour nurse's number, because you're going to need it. You're probably going to call her quite a few times. And even if you have your family's help, or you have people around that you trust and love that have had kids, it is still smart to have the nurse's number, because there may be things that they've forgotten. Even when I thought about making this video, I had to really think hard, because it's been almost 2 years. So you kind of forget certain things, but definitely have your nurse's number. Another thing that I would highly recommend is, if you're going to breastfeed, which I really do encourage moms to breastfeed, especially as African American moms. It's so important. It does prevent breast cancer. It is very healthy for baby. It's inexpensive. Diapers are already expensive, enough, and wipes are expensive, diaper cream's expensive, baby's expensive, but formula is super expensive, and it's an absolute need if you're not going to breastfeed. So if you can avoid it, I would say while you're still at the hospital, get with your lactation specialist immediately. As soon as they bring baby to you, go ahead and request them, because you want to get your latch perfect. And it takes a few times. With me personally, with my daughter, I had to work on my latch, and for a minute she wasn't drinking. Like, she would just latch perfectly, and then with her big beautiful eyes, she would just look at me like, and I'm like, drink. So they gave me a nipple guard, because my breasts were extremely sore, and it was just really uncomfortable to feed at that time. And so with the nipple guard, it really did help out quite a bit, and she started to get the sucking motion, and then I was able to remove that. They got me nipple cream. I had my lactation specialist in there almost every single day, and I was in the hospital for 4 days after my C-section. Also, stay for as long as you need to. You do not have to leave. You can stay. If you feel uncomfortable and you're not quite ready to go home, you can ask or request for an extra day and stay. And I definitely did. I let them know, like, at least one more day, because I think I could have gone home on that 3rd day, but I wasn't ready yet. So I stayed, because it was so nice to have nurses that you could just, have in and out at your beck and call. So that was nice. But yeah, definitely get your latch down, because when you go home, it's just gonna be you and baby. You may have family's help, but at night, and it's those feedings get more intense. You want to be very comfortable with your latch, especially when the milk starts coming in, because at first in the hospital, and this is just something, a little side thing, I know most women say that it is painful to breastfeed in the beginning, and it is because you've got colostrum coming out. It's a thicker substance. It takes more effort for baby to suck it out, but when the milk comes, it helps secrete the nipple, and it makes breastfeeding a lot easier. And so you don't have, like, your areola is not going to hurt as much, if that makes sense. So I definitely would recommend continuing the process, even though it hurts, because, like I said, it'll save you a crap ton of money in the long run. So that is something to think about. But what was I saying? So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the hospital. Just making sure you get your latch down. Try different positions if you're having discomfort or you're feeling uncomfortable with certain positions, like doing this or cradling. Try laying back. Ask your lactation specialist about different positions that you can try that might help with you and baby. So once you get that done and you get the 24-hour nurse and you feel comfortable with going home, this is when stuff really gets pretty darn real, because it's you and baby at home by yourselves. And so for me, my mom unfortunately she had an accident. She was not well, and she was in California, and my sister was also in California. So with my husband working overnight and being really tired during the daytime, a lot of the weight, my card was rude and it cut me off, but anyways, a lot of that weight fell on me. And so it was a bit intimidating, I'm not gonna lie, going home with my daughter, because I knew that I was gonna be majority of the time alone. And I did have friends that would come over and help and see her, but it would never be for a length of time that really made a massive difference. My mother-in-law came over for a minute, but that kind of fell through. Let me see who else. My grandmother came over, but that wasn't a huge, she couldn't really do much for me, because at that point when she started visiting, I kind of had already gotten into the swing of things of what it was I wanted. And so the first week of bringing Leia home, one of the first things that you might notice, I don't know if it was just me and my baby, that no one told me, nobody talks about this, but we were driving home, we got her in the house, and then her skin had bumps everywhere, little red bumps. And I freaked out. I was like, what the heck is this? So I called her 24-hour nurse, and they let me know that the hospital air is softened, and it has it has stuff going on in it that helps with baby skin. And so when it goes home, when he or she goes home, the hardness of the air, depending on the kind of air that you have at home, could break baby out. And so that was kind of a throw off, but within an hour she was good to go. A little tip also, while we're on the topic of skin, within that first week, before you have baby, before you bring baby home, I highly recommend that you go ahead and wash everything that you can imagine baby touching with baby safe detergent, because it'll just help with them having no irritation on their skin from rashes and such from them touching things like shirts, clothes that you might have worn before you had baby. Go ahead and wash everything you can, so that when you're holding baby, there's no irritation. And when you have people visit, have a cloth that has been washed in that same fabric. This will also prevent germs and things like that, but it'll help with the skin. let me see, what's another thing within the first week? Definitely getting feeding down. You have to get them to gain that weight. For me, because my baby was a C-section baby, she had a lot of fluid in her throat. And so I found it kind of difficult to have her in a bassinet or anywhere else but in the bed with me. And I know this is not encouraged, but I bed shared, and I still bed share. No mommy shame here. I proudly bed share with my baby. My husband still works a very weird schedule where he's gone majority of the night. I like to have somebody with me, and that somebody just so happens to be my nugget. I am a very light sleeper. I don't recommend this if you're not a light sleeper, and I don't move. Once I fall asleep, whatever position it is that I'm in is the position I'm gonna be in until I wake up. So I haven't had any issues with rolling over on her or anything like that. And if she rolls over on me, I've fallen asleep and had her right on my head. So it just worked for me. I was able to kind of, which is my next point, having her in the bed helped me learn her feeding schedule. That is the most important thing when you get home with baby. Everything else aside, because they have to gain that weight back, you need to learn their feeding schedule. It is so inherently important for you to learn that schedule. I promise you, once you do, life will be a lot easier. And when I say learn it, I mean learn it so much that they don't cry for milk. They don't cry because they're wet or anything like that, but mainly for the feeding. Focus on the feeding. Look for those signs. Even when they're sleeping, if they start tossing, whip that nipple out, whip that boobie out, put it in their face, or get your husband downstairs or get your butt downstairs and get that bottle ready, get it heated up and get it right in their mouth before they can cry. You will be so grateful if you do this, because you will avoid them getting upset. The moment they start crying, it means that they've been hungry for at least a little bit and they're irritated now, which makes it harder to soothe them. And so you want to go ahead and knock it out the park. Trust me, it makes a difference. And sleeping, I was able to get my baby, when she was 2 months, I got her sleeping through the night. And the way I did this was doing that. I had her in the bed with me, and before she could even cry at night, before she could even wake up, she would do this thing I would call conducting, where her hands would just kind of do this, pop the boobie in her mouth, she would just. So at nighttime, I was getting my sleep. I was getting maybe 5-6 hours of sleep at night. And with a newborn or 2-month-old, all I'm saying, it'll save you so much stress. I tried everything that everyone recommended. Put them in the bassinet, leave them alone, wait till they cry, figure out what's wrong with them. I looked for the signs. I was like, oh, she's moving them hands, that mouth's going. Before she wakes up, I'm putting the milk in her. Oh, her diaper's looking a little full. I always tried to do onesies that unsnapped, or like the loose bottom thingy, so that I could change her. But at nighttime, this is the key. You don't want to irritate baby at night, and this is what a lot of people do, and this is what pisses baby off, and this is what makes baby stay up hours and hours and hours at a time, because babies are sleepy, and you got to think about how they were in the womb. So you want to make them as comfortable as possible, and you want to irritate them the least amount of times as possible. And so the way I did this, nighttime diapers are nighttime diapers for a reason. I know a lot of moms have different opinions about this, but as long as your baby has not soiled their diaper and they're not leaking out of their diaper to the point where they're so full with pee, then you're fine. Even go a size up. I went a size up for her nighttime diapers, and I still do that, just so that she's not feeling any wetness. And I always use diaper cream. Diaper cream is important even within that first week. And within the first week, I'm saying master this for that first month, that second month, because these are the things that make having a newborn at home kind of difficult, because they don't do anything else. So eating and changing. At night, try to change him or her as least as possible. If you have a newborn and she wears newborn diapers, get her a size 1 diaper for nighttime and paste that butt up with some natural diaper cream. Real nice, don't be shy. Thick coats. Paint that butt, paint that coot. that little wee, whatever you want to call it, paint their private part down, get it, don't put it in between the lips, just on the outer end. I know this is really TMI, but coat till you see white, put that diaper on, and I promise you, you don't have to worry about it unless they poop or they've overfilled the diaper. And since it's a size up and they're tiny itty bitty little human beings, it should last for at least 5 hours, and that's still a good stretch of the night without having to irritate them, and that helps. Like I said, the less you poke and pry at baby, the less you get them upset by not noticing that they're hungry or not paying attention, the more you're going to have peace, and the easier it'll be to get them on a schedule. I was able to get her on a set schedule at 2 months, but honestly, had I done all of this earlier, I probably could have had her on a set schedule within that first month, because it really is not that deep. Like I said, they don't really do much else within that first week. Those are the things that I would say monitor, focus on learning your baby, learning what, you know, look out for the signs. I didn't have a colicky baby and I didn't have a gassy baby because I had a vegan diet while I was still breastfeeding. And I recommend that whatever diet you had, if you are going to breastfeed, whatever diet you had while you were pregnant, try to keep that diet, unless it was trash. Change it then. Eat healthier. Baby needs all of the nutrients baby can get. So, you know, get your breast milk really fortified. If your breast milk supply is starting to dwindle on you, drink lots more water. Eat things like sweet potato, chia seeds in your oatmeal. Do chia seed cereals with fibers. Eat a lot of protein packed foods, beans, bean burritos if you want to be fancy with it. Do some chicken if you need to, broccoli. Drink lots of I used to do stinging nettle leaf tea when I was really desperate for extra milk. That'll get you going. But drink a lot of water. Your body can't produce a fluid without fluids, you know. And people say your breast milk, it doesn't matter what you eat, it has a lot to do with baby's regulation, but you can't produce milk if you're not hydrated. And I've tested this theory because there's been days where I've drank less water and I've produced less milk. And there's days where I've chugged water and I've poured out milk. Also, pouring out milk and being over-engorged, if you find yourself overproducing in the beginning before your milk regulates, just keep feeding baby as much as possible. Don't fill them. But if you find that your letdown is too intense for baby, I would say pump for like maybe a bottle and then try feeding, because it'll help the letdown be a little less, and then you've got some milk stored away for later. So I think that's essentially it for the first week of baby. You know, just feeding, changing less as possible. Now in the daytime, have at it. Poopy diapers tend to happen a lot during the daytime. At night, not so much. Just pay attention. I noticed that a lot of her poopy diapers would be during the daytime. At nighttime, it was very rare that it would happen. She would pee more than anything. Within the time in the daytime when she's napping, he or she is napping, watch your shows, enjoy yourself, get your sleep at night with baby. And I know they say babies don't sleep at night, but if you follow the steps that I just said, you know, honestly, they would do. My baby didn't cry a whole lot because I honestly paid attention to her signs so that I could catch her before she cried. You know, if she looked like she was uncomfortable in her diaper or was about to be, I would try to change her. If she looked hungry and she looked like she was about to wake up because she was hungry, I would feed her. Just try not to piss your baby off. And for the most part, everything else should just be smooth sailing. Trust me, newborns, they're easy. This isn't the difficult part of having kids. Enjoy this phase when all they do is sleep, poop, and eat, and you bathe them and you look at them and they look at you and you change them like they're a little doll. Enjoy it, because the real stuff comes up in my next video when we talk about, I guess because this kind of covers maybe the first 2 months, we'll talk about 3 months to 6 months. So I think we'll do like maybe 2 to 3 month intervals. Let me know if you guys have any questions whatsoever. I am very versed with babies now because I had to figure out, like I said, a lot of this on my own. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for mommies, you know, for new moms. Just find a mom community. If you're alone, know that you're never alone. The Lord is with you. I definitely had a prayer journal to write in all of my time of pregnancy, and it really did help me out quite a bit, and it helped me cope with a lot of what was going on at the time. And then, you know, of course, you have your husband there, or your significant other, or friends and family. Surround yourself, because babies need you to feel good. You have to feel good for baby, and genuinely feel good, not fake it. So just enjoy your nugget, and God bless, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.